What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. Wow. Wow. Devin Haney going out super sad right now. My dog, Romero, puts the fire on him. Listen, I can't lie to you, yeah. Obviously, people say, well, Rolly, he don't fight no one, but listen. Boxing needs personalities, and I like the personality. Now, I can't lie to you, man. I only really started following the USA scene in the last few months, so maybe some of you USA dons can inform me in the comments about the history of Haney and Rolly Romero. But from what I understand, or I don't know, but yeah, again, what is the history between Devin Haney and Rolly Romero? In as much as, does Rolly Romero really want to fight Haney? Has Rolly Romero sent a contract? Is Haney saying I'm too big for him? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I think Rolly Romero would take the fight with Haney, but Haney playing the big star, who's too big for it. And if that's the case, then Rolly Romero absolutely has earned the right to talk his ish. Yeah? If Rolly Romero genuinely wants a piece of Devin Haney, and Haney don't want to give it to him, then that's on Haney. Don't at me saying, don't at me saying, oh well, Rolly Romero don't want to fight no one, because there was a time when Errol Spence stuck it on Furman, and Furman said the same thing. Oh, no one don't know Spence. That don't work in my opinion. When someone's chasing you, calling you out. In fact, even Haney himself. Look at Haney. Haney calling out Teofimo, and Teofimo giving him the I'm the big man. So what goes around comes around, and that's why you should really, everyone who calls you out, you should answer the call. Especially when you're like someone in Haney's position who ain't got nothing going on anyway. Arguably, Haney versus Romero will be his biggest fight to date. Look at Romero's record. Romero's record is 92% KO. Better than Haney's. Now, you can argue Haney's fought better competition, but a KO ratio is a KO ratio. Tyson's scary. He won't knock, as a heavyweight, he ain't knocking no one out. Never. So it's nothing to do. You've either got the power to make someone hit the stanky, you've either got the power to make someone hit the nene, like Rolly Romero does, or you ain't. And I think that Haney should give him that work, especially when he been talking, especially when he stayed talking this greasy. And let's get to the comments, because, my man, I like people who talk ish and want to get in there and get it. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert in the USA scene. If some of you man tell me, YB, you're wrong, Haney was the one winning that fight, and or Romero's been running from Haney, then that's a different story. But from how I understand it, is that Romero's obviously not as much of a big name. He doesn't have a world title belt, and he wants to get in Devin Haney's panties. But Devin Haney is giving it that I'm the big star, which makes him a hypocrite when he criticises Teofimo for doing exactly the same. Someone's got to break this trend, because they all do it. They all say, "Oh no, no one knows him," and then someone's got to break the cycle and answer the call. When someone defames your name, step up and say, you know what? I don't care about how big I think I am. Let me go and get this work. Especially in today's age where it's social media driven, where some of these fights, even if Rolly Romero isn't a massive name, guess what, Devin? The build-up for this fight will probably be your biggest fight to date. So if you say he's not big or he's not known or whatever, fighting him, you may get paid more, or as much as fighting a harder fight, but from some European don no one knows of, but it's a hard fight. Does that make sense? Fighting someone in the USA with a big mouth and a social media following and that kind of hype thing can end up being just as fruitful as fighting a real hard boxing fight. And Devin Haney likes to think of himself as a businessman. I don't know why he's not jumping all over this, unless, like Rolly Romero alleges, unless Devin Haney's scary. Rolly Romero says that, listen, I'm the 92% KO ratio at 135. I will put Haney out, and Haney knows it. That's what Rolly Romero is alleging. Rolly Romero is alleging Haney don't want nothing to do with him because he the Iceman. Rolly Romero says he is the Iceman to Haney. Some people say I am your big bro. Yeah, I am big bro to you. I am daddy to you. Rolly Romero says I am Iceman to you. Why? Because I'll put you on ice. Is what he alleges. And unfortunately, guess what? Devin Haney don't want to answer the allegations. He's scary. I'm sure there'll be some Haney fans who are mad, but he missing. Bottom line. And if you disagree, tell your mans to stop being missing and answer the call. Haney, You ain't fighting no one interesting anyway, is the point here. Fair enough, if you was fighting TFEMO and Tank and Ryan Garcia, I'd get it. I'm not knocking you for that to be there, because I do believe you want them fights. But the same way them man are ducking you, guess what? You ducking Rolly Romero. So to stop being a hypocrite, go down there, handle your business if you can. Handle the Iceman's business if you can. And then you can say, listen, when I was called out, I handled mine. Now it's time for others to hold the same form. At the moment, you're looking just like them. You're doing just exactly the same thing they're doing. Playing politics. Not fighting. Because all these European randomers you're fighting, that no one don't know, they ain't calling you out. They ain't calling you the Amir Khan of 135. And what happened to good old honour? Never mind anything else. What happened to defending your honour and your name? Because Rolly Romero says that your name and your father's name, or says that Rolly Romero alleges the Haney genetic line doesn't have any chin. Rolly Romero alleges that your father passed on chin genetics that are wafer thin, that are only rivaled by Amir Khan, the staple of chinless boxing. Yeah, that's what he alleges. He alleges you are the brand new Amir Khan of boxing. Haney Khan. That's what they're gonna call you for. That's what he says. Please don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just telling you, man, what Rolly Romero is saying. Rolly Romero is saying Haney is, you know what I'm saying? When people, because for a long time, people have said when someone gets caught with a shot, they say, "Oh, look, Khan." But from now on, it will be Haney. Is what he's saying. Oh, look at that, Devin Haney. You don't want to be known as that guy. And the only way you can not be that guy is if you go down there and handle this work. Because Rolly Romero stay talking. Yeah? He stay talking. And his hands stay ready. He 95% KO ratio. Yours is like 60%. You ain't KO no one. Now we can talk about, oh well, boxing records and he ain't fought. Go handle the work is the point here. Yeah? Let me give you, man, the quotes, because these quotes, I don't even really want to read these quotes from Rolly Romero because they're too smoky. Yeah? We know what YouTube's like these days. YouTube will ban these quotes. they're way too fire. Rolly Romero has aired out Devin Haney. Most likely, if I read these quotes out, your boy the YB is going to have to handle a lawsuit, because Haney ain't going to like these words being out there. Too smoky. But you know what? I'm obliged. The fans must hear these words. Rolly Romero said the following: I'll fight Devin Haney. SHIT, I mean, he's chinny as hell. He got hurt with venom gloves. Oh, that's a joke. And not even just got hurt. He didn't recover. It was like 4 rounds and he didn't recover. So like I said, I mean, Linares is nowhere near the puncher like me. 92% KO ratio. Haney, I feel bad for him. He's probably the chinniest fighter at 135. If not, one of the most chinniest boxers in the sport. He's the Amir Khan of 135. Wow! This is super bad for Devin Haney right now. And like I told you, man, from the start of this video, Rolly Romero wants it. So all you Devin Haney dons, don't at me, because I'm not here for the politics. I don't want to hear about belts. I don't want to hear about nothing else. Why? Because guess what? Haney ain't fighting for them things you're talking about anyway. He don't have a whole load of these big fights lined up. If he did, I'd get it. But you ain't doing all them things anyway. So what you might as well do, go and handle the big mouth who wants it. That's what boxers need to start doing. That's the thing. That's what Dana White does with the UFC. Dana White puts the fights together that make sense and that are wanted. He doesn't just put fights on because, no. He makes events marketable. If two fighters have got beef and they're mouthing up and whatnot, he puts them together. Boxing ignores people like Rolly and then drags in some random dude no one's ever heard of. Don't make no sense. And that's on Haney, to be fair. Where's he at? Where's he at? He missing. That's where he is. How about that? He missing. He's scary. So I'm sorry. If he's not, tell your mans to go handle the work. Yeah? Simple as that. Stop begging for fights you ain't getting. Because Lomachenko is fighting Teofimo. And that's if he doesn't fight Kambosos in the middle. So either way you look at this, Teofimo locked up for a long time. Lomachenko locked up. And rightfully so. I want to see that rematch before I want to see you fight any of these, man. Ryan Garcia, that fight ain't coming anytime soon. So you are the man no one wants. And you have to ask yourself now, I can't lie to you, man. Given that Haney ain't fighting no one anyway, I find it suspect that why doesn't he want to fight Rolly? What does he know about Rolly in the gym? We know they both hang around the same gym, the Mayweather gym. What does he know about Rolly? Why is he in it? Why is he avoiding Rolly for? Why don't he want to just go and squash that beef? Because for me, if I had someone talking on my name like that, I'd just go and squash the beef quick time. I'd say, Eddie, make it happen. And we know what Eddie's like. Eddie is to an extent like Dana White. He loves putting on big fights. I mean, look at, there's a man from the UK, yeah, called Tom. What's his name? Tom something. Either way, Tom was a bare knuckle guy. He was a traveller. He essentially had a big mouth. And Eddie kept, or even people like Dave Allen. They're not good boxers, but they've got big mouths. Now Rolly is a lot better than Tom and Dave Allen. And he's got a big mouth. And he got a high KO ratio for a low weight. So I'm sure if Devin Haney said, yo boss, Eddie, we ain't fighting no one anyway. My next one, get me that Don there. I want him bad. He smells good. He smells sweet. And I like the way he talks. Yeah? I'm sure it can happen. But you ain't do that. You scary. You missing. You silent. You ignoring. You playing hard to get. Yeah? It's sus. It's sus. How about that? Super suspect. Right now. And what I believe, I can't lie to you, man, what I believe is that Rolly Romero and his 92% KO ratio, I believe Devin Haney knows why I go on with that, yeah? I believe Devin Haney knows why I go on. He don't want it. He knows his chin is vulnerable and he ain't fixing to get washed. Now, people can be mad and whatever else, but all I can tell you, man, is tell your mans to go quash the beef. That's it. Go handle it. Because once you handle the beef, people like the YB will say, you know what, I was wrong. And I'll own it, no problem doing that. If Devin Haney goes there and squashes that beef nicely, or better yet, in devastating fashion, I'll come out and say, listen, put my hands in the air, I was wrong. Haney's the man. But until that happens, I have to go with what Rolly Romero is saying. I'm sorry, but that's how the jungle works. Someone talks a good game and wants to fight, and the other person acting goofy, then what are we supposed to do as fans? Just take Devin Haney's word for it? Don't make no sense. This is the fight game. If you believe something, go handle it. Go get it. No doubt. So your hats off to Rolly Romero, keeping the sport fresh, talking his ish. And what we know is he got Devin scary right now. Because if he ain't, he'll be fighting him. No doubt.